Hi, it's Gretchen Dixon, a product specialist at SOLABS. Today I'd like to show you how to create a training activity that is not set for recurrence based upon document revision. So this would be a training activity such as a classroom training, on-the-job training, something that the trainee will take just once. In a separate video, we do cover how to create training activities that are linked to documents and set to automatically recur when those documents are revised. So please refer to that video if you'd like to attach a document. Here I have a curriculum for employee orientation training. So the training activities in this curriculum are all just one-time training events. I'll create a new training activity today to show you how to set up a training activity where you don't have recurrence based on document revision. As covered in another video called What is a Curriculum in SOLABS QM10, your curriculum is where you set the defaults for your training activities. So this particular curriculum was set for defaults that do not include any recurrence settings. I am going to create another training activity in this curriculum. To do that, I click on Create. I now have fields that I have to fill out for my new training activity. We're going to create a training activity for adverse events training. This will be part of the new employee curriculum, but I will need to assign it separately since a curriculum can't be assigned to trainees. Each individual training activity does need to be assigned. Then I will pick a category. I'm going to pick classroom training and leave it at not started so I can fill in all of the fields and even assign it to the trainees later before making it active. Next, you have some optional fields that you can fill in to describe your training activity. This first one on training videos is brand new with version 10.9. It allows you to link videos that are either YouTube, Vimeo, or Microsoft Stream. To link a training video, what you would do is open a video in one of those three video formats, right-click and find what's called the embed code. Copy that and paste it into this field. After having done that, when you assign the training activity, the trainee will immediately see and be able to launch the video that you have embedded. The description field allows you to describe this classroom training, perhaps how long it is, who the trainers are, anything that you'd like the trainees to see. It can also be populated with quick text, which is a custom list that allows you to create some standard values to populate these fields. The next three fields allow you to describe the purpose, the method of instruction, and the method of evaluation. Here I have added some quick text to make it easy for me to pick some things for the trainee to see. That the purpose is required knowledge, classroom training, and if I had a method of evaluation, I might have a knowledge assessment in my class or demonstration of competency. And again, these are optional fields, so they can be left blank. You can put an estimated duration. That might be interesting for the trainee to know how much time they're committing to this if it's an hour or two for a classroom training. We do recommend leaving the estimated end date blank. It acts as an expiry date, so it is appropriate for things like yearly GMP training or yearly OSHA training where you would be creating and assigning a separate training activity in the next calendar year. But leave it blank because after that date, then it wouldn't be available to any future trainees that you'd like to assign it to. The start date is defaulting to when I created the curriculum, but I can change that to today's date if I would like to say that I'm creating this training activity today. So we'll go in and change that to February 14th, 2022. The create date did default to today's date. Again, no recurrence. I have set this curriculum up with a default of no recurrence because it was not a plan for me to link a document that would trigger recreation of any of these training activities upon its revision. Next, we see training activity assessment. This is for those of you who are using our partner for on-demand online assessments. If you have built an assessment for this training activity in on demand and you'd like to link it to this classroom training, you could click yes. You could search by number or name for the training that you created in click on it, and it would then be linked. I won't do that in today's exercise. Next, you have the completion requirements. It will default to what you have put in for the curriculum settings, but you can change that. So you could just put that the user has to sign off with their e-signature after having attended the class. If you are going to have a quiz and perhaps hand it out in the class and have it graded later, you could put end user with pass rate and enter the pass rate. If you're using on demand, automatically end user with pass rate will be the default setting. Others will be grayed out, and it will actually bring in the pass rate from the assessment that you built in on demand. Another option is to have a second confirmation. This is really handy for on-the-job training where you might like the trainer to also sign off that they have seen the trainee demonstrate their competency. And you can have both. So I will put this with end user and second confirmation. When you do that, you can choose who is able to do that second confirmation. Training administrators can automatically do second confirmation, so perhaps you'll hand training attendance sheets in to them. But you can also choose to have trainers, managers, or department heads be able to do second confirmation when you choose to have one. You have an option to dismiss with justification. Here, if you click yes, what happens is the trainee has the option to basically opt out of the training, but they do have a mandatory justification field when they do that. And if you do pick trainers, and that was covered in the video on what is a curriculum in SOLABS QM10, you can decide the completion requirements for the trainer. Do they need to complete this activity before they can do a second confirmation? And also does the training administrator. Notice that this section on exceptions is grayed out. That is related to training activities that have recurrence based upon document revision because it allows you to give automatic training credit to your authors and approvers of the document, and that doesn't apply in this case. So when you have finished all of this information, which is not as much as creating a recurrence training activity, I just had to enter the name, anything I might like in these optional fields, and then again left my estimated end date blank. I have no recurrence. I am not linking a training assessment, and I am going to have a second confirmation by a trainer or a training administrator. At that point, I would go ahead and submit and confirm. And now I have a new training activity associated with my curriculum. After I assign that training activity, I will come back in and modify it to make it active. Right now it is not started. Please see our article in the knowledge base with a separate video on assigning training activities, because this new training activity does need to be assigned to people by linking it to a function role and then assigning end users. I hope that was a nice introduction to creating training activities in QM10. Please see our knowledge base for articles, videos, user guides on all aspects of using SOLABS QM10.